Hi guys, good evening. I welcome you to this small session on IBPS PO 2019 interviews. I hope you have already started your preparation. This is 16th of January today, and the interviews start from 30th. So if my information is correct, it's just exactly 2 weeks away from today. The mains exam, the IBPS PO mains was held on 30th of November. So if you look at that, 30th November, 30th January, it's like 2 months for you to prepare for the interview. I know that many of you kept waiting for the final result. So now the result, it's also been 15 days after the result. Then some of you are still thinking about whether you scored enough in the main exam to do well in the overall merit and stuff like that. Guys, first things first, all of you should prepare. It's not too late, still not too late. 2 weeks, I'm not saying it's enough. So those who have been preparing for the last 1.5 months obviously hold an advantage. But yes, these 2 weeks still is good enough time. You can make a difference. So yes, utilize this time. I would say this again. I keep saying this. Anybody who has got a call, anybody who has been shortlisted for the interview does stand a chance of making it to the final list. I've seen so many cases like that where people did not prepare, thinking that I actually did not do well in the main exam, so hardly stand a chance and stuff like that. No, you stand a chance. So should not regret later. I understand the marks are not known, so that way it's good in a way that the marks are not known. So you've got every reason in the world to try and score the maximum possible in this interview, but do your best. Fine. So do not think about all those things. The only target now is to get the maximum that you can. Do your best in this interview. Fine. So do that. We see all these cases every time. When the results would be out, you'll feel I missed it by half a mark because I kind of thought that I'll not stand a chance. No, do not let this happen. This is extremely important. I'm not wasting your time saying this again and again. I've seen cases like that. I do not want this to happen with anybody of you, and that's the reason I'm saying this again and again. Anyway, coming back to the point, it's a very small session. So what I intend to do is that most of you are already there in our Facebook group, Merit Chain Study Group on Facebook. So all what we do for you is done on these two properties, basically this YouTube channel and the Merit Chain Facebook group. So Ratnaba had posted something on that group on 4th of January. Let me just show that to you so that I can relate the two things for you. So we had posted something over there. So this was the post that was put there on the Merit Chain Facebook group. So if you are new to it, that's facebook.com/groups simple /Merit Chain. So that is the address, simple. So you need to join this group first, and then you can see this post. This is the pinned post. The post that's pinned there in this group is this post currently, and that can also be accessed from the announcement section in case you watch this video later, right? So you can find this easily. Ratnaba has shared everything that you need to do for this interview in this post. So there are basically 5 playlists that he wants you to go through, that we have shared with you, that you need to do to prepare. All this, what I'll do is I'll put this the link of this post in the session description. So from that you can go over there and access the details of those 5 playlists. All the playlists are there on this YouTube channel only. Fine. So I hope you have already done that. In case you have not, you can still do that. Fine. So that in itself is enough in terms of preparation and material and all. That is enough. So the agenda today is that I'll tell you what to do after that. So in this post that he did on 4th of January, he divided the preparation into 2 parts. For the first 10-12 days in which you had to do these 5 playlists, and then the stuff after that for which I'm there with you. So you can see this here. This is section A, what to do in the next 10 days. So all sincere students should have done this already. Fine. And this is section B, about which I'm going to talk about today. What to do in the next 10 days. Now, in terms of material and all what you have done through this post, the link is there in the session description, is enough. It's enough in terms of basics, in terms of preparation, in terms of homework and all. This is fine. What we are doing for you now are 2-3 extra things. I'm going to talk about all of them one by one. Let me start with this first. Okay, one more thing. To access this post, I keep coming across this question time and again. You have to join this group first. That's obvious. So it's a closed group. You join this group first. This is facebook.com/groups/meritshine. Very simple URL. You go here, join this group. The request should be approved in a couple of hours at the max, and then you will find this post. So everything is there. I'll tell you what to do after that. So this is next. We are going to come up with another playlist soon. What would this be? Let me just explain. We had conducted a program, an online program last year for people preparing for IBPS PO interview. So this is IBPS 19, that was IBPS 18. So we had done around 15 hours of sessions. Now there was some content in that in those sessions that was on which we had worked very hard, and we actually gave it a lot of time. So we have curated some parts of that content that is still relevant and are giving to you in the form of very crisp, concise sessions. All that is still relevant. Just go through them. There'll be small sessions, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We'll release 6-7 such sessions. All of them would be very meaningful for you. So what we'll do is that we'll enact situations, tricky situations, HR questions and all, some general knowledge stuff, some banking awareness stuff, all relevant. Do not think that's old and all. It's all very, very relevant. So we'll enact that for you. Go to that playlist. So that's number one. That would be another YouTube playlist for you. So this would be, we are just working on it, so it's being curated currently. We'll start putting those 6-7 sessions after 4-5 days. So don't think that you'll have to wait for this and all. All the basics and everything have been covered in that post that I just showed you. This would be all additional stuff. 15-20 minute sessions, 6 sessions each, will not take any time. Just do them as and when they are released. Now, this is a question we keep facing very often. How should I prepare general awareness, GK, banking awareness for an interview? Now, guys, this is very different. I'll take a minute of yours here. This is very different from the way you prepare your GK for the main exam, for the written tests and all. This is very different, very different. So you'll not need to mug up any PDFs, right? So you'll not need any one-liners. They're important. So, for example, a question might be asked, when was that article 370 thing happened, something like that, some dates or like that, but they are very unlikely. So the general awareness that's asked here would be more in the form of opinions, views, fine, a little more detailed. So those PDFs that you used, for example, the gainful PDFs that you use for mains, would not be that relevant now. They would be relevant, but not be that relevant. You will be required to work a little more on it. So for this, if you ask me what to do for this, I'll say read newspapers, magazines, read editorials, form opinions, think about important matters, keep yourself abreast of the latest affairs and all, and you should be good. That's okay. I hope all of you are doing it. If you're not doing it, or if you want to consolidate on your learnings, your readings in the last couple of months, 3-4 months, so this time what we have done for you is that we are compiling a PDF of important current issues, so they contain everything, general issues like Article 370 and political stuff like CAN and all, and international issues like Donald Trump impeachment and all the relevant issues. General knowledge can never be complete. It's you just kind of try and zero in on the most important issues. So we have picked up those 30-40 most important issues, compiled some data for you. So that's like a very short compendium, some 80 pages for you, through which you can just go very quickly. And if you have not read the newspapers, you can kind of update yourself very quickly through it. What we have also done is that we have given you the links from where that information has been pegged. So we have made it very concise and also shared the links in case you want to do a further reading on it. So that should be a very, very good resource for you to update yourself in case you have not been reading in depth of late. That's going to be a very valuable resource for you. So that's number 2. Another thing in this PDF would be that at the end of it, we are compiling certain questions for you. For example, if I let's say talk about CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act. So you read about it, you read a lot about it, but you still might feel okay, what are the kind of questions that an interviewer might ask me on this? So we are compiling that list as well. So this is going to be a very, very valuable resource for you. Use it well. It should be ready in the next 2-3 days. We're going to share that with you on that same Facebook group. YouTube does not give you a functionality to kind of upload the PDFs and all. So that will all happen on the Facebook group. Join that group and you will find that over here. So that will take care of a general awareness. Those one-liners will not do the job for you. It's extremely important. Do something like this. Do your reading and do this. So this would happen in the form of a PDF. It should take just 2-3 days. Another 2-3 days, it will be available with you. Do it very, very thoroughly. Okay, now which static general knowledge am I talking about? Am I talking about Akbar and Sher Shah Suri? No, that's not the kind of general knowledge that's required in the interview. When a question might come, but no, that's very, very unlikely. I'm talking about static general knowledge related to business, banking and financial world, right? So if you do not know the difference between repo rate, reverse repo rate and SLR and stuff like that, that's going to be a problem for you. Fine. So we expect all of you to be reading on relevant stuff, going through all that stuff and all. But if you're doing that, even then you need a document, or you need some information in a concise, consolidated format that you can go through just before your interview. So it's precisely that. So we are making a document, again a PDF, in which we'll give you all such things, all these things, which will be handy for those who have been reading, and for those of you, the adventurous ones who have not been reading, you can probably just go through them and hope that does the job for you. So that's another PDF that's going to be handy for you. Please go through it. It'll not take much time, couple of days. This should be ready in the next 4 or 5 days. So this should take care of your static general knowledge. So I'm talking about this PDF. That's banking awareness, that's financial awareness, that's all such terms, all such things that can be asked or is generally asked in this interview. So this will take another 4 or 5 days. I think it should be ready by around 20th, 21st. Even if your interview is started on 30th, you'll get some 8-9 days with it. That should be enough. So that's thing number 2. Another PDF, you'll get it on the group, join the group, and we'll announce it in the next 4 or 5 days over there. Now we keep facing this question again and again. Do I need to join a coaching institute to prepare for this interview? The answer is a yes and a no. I'll explain how. You do not need anything in terms of data, in terms of knowledge, in terms of books and all. All what we are giving you is more than sufficient. Believe me, it's more than sufficient. If you've gone through all those 5 playlists, that's a lot of information. If you go through all what we're going to give you now, that's further information for you. You do not need anything else apart from it. Believe me, seriously, do not need anything else apart from it. You work on this and just nail the interview. However, this might help in one way. We cannot conduct mock interviews for you. You understand that because of a limitation. We want to conduct it for some of you, but it's very, very tough. We tried doing that. Whenever we tried doing that, we got 1,000 applications. It becomes actually very difficult to conduct mock interviews for you. So to experience that interview, you can join a coaching institute. That's the only thing that you need from a coaching institute. The caveat is that the person or the panel, whoever interviews you over there, should be good enough to check your preparation, test you on relevant questions, and give you constructive feedback. This last point is extremely important. I have seen people conducting interviews for students, ending up ragging them, demotivating them, frustrating them, asking funny questions, and similar stuff. So that's not good. So I do not know where you intend to join, what you intend to do with it, but before joining, take feedback from people. If you want to do this, I've seen so many people who do it without it. But yes, if you find a good place, that's definitely going to help. So do the research, check who's going to interview you, check the process, whether they're going to give you feedback and all, whether they are in a position they're eligible to give you feedback and all. And if you think you're satisfied that they're going to help you, join it for mock interviews. I made it clear, there is no yes, no, decide it accordingly. You're smart people, you can take a call yourself. Right, I'll move forward. This is one question again. You'll ask me, you're asking me not to join it. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it depends. So take a call. But yes, this is one problem that troubles a lot of people. How do I find answers to tricky or difficult HR questions? Stuff like if they ask you your weakness and all, how do you frame that answer? What is a proper introduction like? I've got a gap year. How do I justify it? I'm an engineer. Why do I want to get into a bank? Mechanical engineer getting into a bank. I'm working in a software company for 3 years. Why join a bank now? I cannot say that my job is troubling me. Fine, I'm unemployed. I've been sitting idle for the last 4 years preparing for the bank exam. Now I've got this call, and I cannot say that I was just doing this for the last 4 years. So many such questions. Now, how do I find these answers to these tricky, difficult HR questions? The answer is, you do not have to find answers to these questions. This is the point where people make that mistake. You do not have to find answers to these questions. You have to frame answers to these questions. Even the most tricky, most difficult HR questions can be answered very elegantly. In fact, जितना ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन मुश्किल होगा उतना ज़्यादा आप उसको बढ़िया आंसर कर सकते हैं. यू कैन स्कोर मोर फ्रॉम अ ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन, राइट. आई मीन इसको ऐसे देखिएगा. सो but the thing would be that you need to work on your answers. You need to work on your answers. You need to rehearse your answers. You need to optimize your answers, and these 2 weeks are enough to do that. But the question is, at times you are not in a position that you can decide whether this is a good answer, this is looking good, this is looking bad, and stuff like that. We understand that. So if you do not have any other resource, nobody can guide you on this, or you're really confused on this, and it gets very difficult for us to give you individual feedback. We have compiled another document for you, and now this one is ready. I'll not ask you to wait for 2-3 days. This one is ready. We have compiled it's approximately 180-190 pages, large font, so pretty doable. A document for you in which there is a list of 35 questions. It's these same 35 questions that are posted on our Facebook group, on which there are hundreds of threads. People have given answers, we have given them feedback. So we have picked the best possible combinations of questions, answers, and our reviews on them, and compiled them, sanitized them, made the changes in them, and did some addition, some deletion and all, and made a PDF out of it. So it's a 180-page document that you have to go through, or you can just go through the relevant portion. So if a couple of questions are troubling you, you can just go through that part, but it will not harm you. It will just take 4-5 hours. Just read everything. So read the question, read students' answers. There will be different answers. So the format would be, I'll just explain that to you, just so that you can make good use of this document. It'll be like intro, fine. So that's the question. Let's say introduce yourself. So it'll be like this: answer 1, answer 2, answer 3, answer 4. So these are different students' answers like that, and then it's review. So review 1, review 2, review 3. So all these reviews have been written by us, written mostly by Ratnabha and me. Samir has also contributed in this. Fine. So these answers belong to different students. Fine. Different students who wrote these answers on our group. So pick the ones through which we can give some feedback. You do not have to copy these answers. Fine. Look at the answer, read the feedback. Look at the answer, read the review. Answer. So when you go through everything, and I'm assuming that you have already done your homework in accordance with the post that was made on 4th of January. Now, we did not want you to start with these answers. The reason is that I actually want to put something in my introduction, but after reading these answers, I feel I should make my introduction this way. No, the ideal way is that you do it on your own first, read these answers, read our feedbacks, and then make changes accordingly. You're getting the point? So that is the way it should be done. So you should use it like that. So if you're, let's say, talking about your weaknesses, if you're framing your answer on your weaknesses, do that first, and then look at that weakness question in this, and see what's been written by students, what is our feedback, our review on that, and then you can make some changes to it. You can fine tune it. That is the way it should be done, and that's going to result in wonderful answers for you, wonderful robust answers for you that can be defended in the interview, that can give you good marks in the interview. So what's the caveat here? Do not copy the answers. So there are a lot of answers. For example, for introduction, you'll probably get 20 answers and the reviews on those answers. Do not copy introductions. Do not copy strengths, weaknesses, nothing. No, you're a separate individual. You have your identity. So your answers should be unique. That is the reason why we do not give you model answers. At times you face questions like, sir, I've been sitting at my home for 4 years. Now I need to go before a panel and justify this gap. Tell me a good answer. Just think about it. If 1,000 people ask me this question and I give that same answer, all your answer would be same. So you're a different individual. Frame your own answer. You can ask us for help in, is it sounding good? Would I be able to justify it? Would they be impressed? Would it kind of sound good at the time of interview? Stuff like that. But do not look for ready-made answers. No. So that is the caveat when I'm doing it. I mean, it's not one answer. It's 20 answers, 5 answers, 10 answers, 15 answers, questions depending upon the question. But it does not mean that you pick the best possible answer out of it and say, अब मेरा introduction हो गया. No. That is not what we are doing it for. There are reviews, so there are good answers, bad answers. You should not just do that. I mean, if I'm saying that that's a good answer, the review says it's a good answer, you just copy that answer. No, they'll be disastrous. You'll not be able to defend it. You have to do the same exercise of framing your answers through personal questions, the way it has been explained in our interview sessions. You can find all those sessions in that post. Fine. And after that, go through this. Because you do not have anybody with you who can guide you on this. So this would be a huge value add to this process, but the process remains the same. Fine. So after this, you'll not need any guidance in terms of what is good, what is bad. It is so exhaustive. It'll be a wonderful document for you. But Do not copy the answers. It's very important. I'm repeating this again and again because I know that when the interview is just 2 days away and you have not worked hard, you'll feel like, अच्छा ये copy कर लेता हूँ, वो copy कर लेता हूँ, यहाँ से उठाया ये बनाया. What kind of profile would that be? I don't know. Might work for certain people, but that's not advisable. Don't do that. So what is it about? This would be a PDF again. I'm releasing this one today itself. Where am I releasing it? Another FB post and that same group. The link of this FB post would also be given below in the session description. In the description of this session, you'll find the link to another FB post in which you'll find this PDF where all these questions and answers have been discussed. Go through it. It'll just take you 4, 5, 6 hours. The homework might take a little more, but this will be worth the effort. Please do that. Don't find your answers, frame them. That's the word for you. Frame your answers. Frame your answers, work on it, do your homework, and you'll be good. Guys, do you realize that it's just 2 more weeks of hard work? Just 2 more weeks. It's 16th day, 30th it starts, it gets over by I think 5th or 6th of February. So it's just 2 more weeks of hard work. You've worked hard for a long time. You have done so much. Just these 2 weeks. 2 weeks of sacrifice, and then it'll be all set for you. Fine. So just make sure that you're putting your best foot forward, not get complacent now. If you're feeling your mains did not go well, just forget all those worries and all. We keep getting messages of people who are anxious, who are worried, who fear this process, who think that they're not good at interviews and all. All these things are there. I understand that's there. That's natural. If it's something important for you, that's bound to happen. So many of you have got a call for the first time, but you have to ensure that you make the most of it. ये भी नहीं पता अगली बार कॉल आएगा कि नहीं आएगा. Believe me guys, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just giving the reality. The competition is getting stiffer every time, right? It's getting tougher. So I know people who got a call last time, any exam, SBI PO, this exam, IBPS PO, whatever, fine, could not convert it, did not convert it, did not work hard enough or whatever. Next time, did not even get a call. It happens. Call आई, ठीक से नहीं लिया, रह गया, अगली बार कॉल ही नहीं आई. हो सकता है, आपके पास कॉल है. You're one of those, I think it will be what, 10,000 odd calls. You're one of those 10,000 students who have got this call. It's waiting for you. It's I think around 1 in 3 from this stage. So there's a good chance. It's a solid chance. Make it count. Do not get complacent. Work hard towards it. Put in your best foot forward. You've got lots on your plate right now. We've given you a lot of stuff to prepare. We'll be releasing stuff. Just make sure that there is nothing else in your life for the next 2 weeks. No matches, no cricket, no movies, nothing. Just this interview. Nail this interview, and then it's going to be, just fun going forward. I mean, there'll be different challenges, but yes, this would be clear. This would be clear. This one thing for which you've been slogging for a long time, this would be all clear. So just make sure that you do not do anything that's counterproductive at this stage. Fine, just do your best. I understand that you're a little scared or worried, but with preparation comes confidence. Fine, this is true, believe me. When you start working, when you give it 10 hours of time tomorrow, and you feel, okay, I know this stuff, it's not that difficult. Fine, read about anything and you really feel, okay, मैं कर सकता हूँ इसको handle. With that comes confidence. So in place of this anxiety and worry and fear, it'll be replaced by some kind of excitement. So do not feel that fear, or do not be afraid. Feel super excited about it, super confident about this. And where does confidence come from? It comes from preparation. So put in the effort. You've got loads on your plate. Just finish it up. Just polish off everything. Just do it in a way in which when you go to the interview hall, you feel होगा नहीं होगा मुझे नहीं पता. I do not know whether I will be selected or not, but I have given it my best and I am confident that I am going to do my best. Selection तो बहुत सारी चीज़ों पर depend करता है. I cannot actually make a difference to it. I'll try and make a difference to it, but I cannot decide it for myself. It depends on my competitors. It depends on the fellow students. But what I'll ensure is मैं जितना अच्छा कर सकता हूँ मैं उतना अच्छा करूँगा. मैं ये रिग्रेट के साथ वापस नहीं आऊँगा कि यार थोड़ा सा और पढ़ लिया होता तो शायद ये आधा नंबर और आ जाता है. आई सी स्टूडेंट्स लाइक दैट एवरी टाइम आफ्टर एवरी एग्जाम. इट हर्ट्स. इट्स वेरी वेरी पेनफुल. सो आई जस्ट एक्सपेक्ट यू टू नॉट कम आउट विद दिस फीलिंग. जो भी कर सकते हो करो. इस इंटरव्यू को कन्वर्ट करो. These same students who give us calls about their anxieties and fears and all, once the result is out, they come up with those messages saying, "हो गया sir, मजा आ गया, हो गया." So I would want you to be one of those students and work hard for it. Good luck.